And there we go. Now I have voice going on. Hello everyone. And Wolf Friday. By which I mean Good Friday. Welcome to the stream everyone. My name is Douglas. And today I'm gonna be I am already working on a new comic book page. Page number 19, I guess. Slightly bamboozled about the number of the pages on my own comic. So the file says it's page 20, but I think the actual number of the pages is like one less than the file says, so it should be page 19. Of my comic The Interdictor. This time around we'll have something different going on. I'll explain after I'm done working on the page. Right now I just wanna really focus on finishing it up early, or as early as possible. Finishing up this sketch here, then getting on with all the other stuff that I do. So what do you have in this page? It's the same true character as we were in the last page, and the new character that shows up just for a couple of frames there. Not a whole lot of screen time she gets. There's a new character that is in the first 3 panels. We're just kinda eh, because yesterday I spent some quality time actually looking over galleries and places, trying to find good reference, trying to you know, kind of nail her look. I think that she would only show up in a few panels. Nonetheless, I think I ended up with something nice looking and cool. But still, it could have been better. Just... well, I spent some time looking over those references and... well, I could have come up with something cooler looking or more original, but in the end I ended up just copying some concepts from Google. By Google I mean Google Pictures, by which I mean random sites on the internet. Because such is the way of looking up resources. Which reminds me, truly, there are 2 big sites going on as far as looking up resources is considered. One, well, when I say 2, I actually mean a little bit more than 2, but one is like a category of sites, and that would be like your DeviantArt, your ArtStations and whatnot. Those online galleries for artists to put up their art and quote-unquote portfolios. Those are good sites to find up some reference. Problem is, well, a lot of art there is hardly original. I mean, it is original, sure, but I mean, with the amount of artists there are there. Chances are those artists got their inspiration from something else. So if you go to find inspiration from there, chances are you're gonna end up with a subproduct of something else, and you don't even know what the original inspiration was to begin with. You lose that part of the process, and knowing what the original inspiration was kind of helps with things like concept and logic behind the concept. Another type of another site that used to go well in that was Tumblr, because just like DeviantArt, there's a lot of artists out there posting publications and pictures and whatnot, art concepts and ideas. But on Tumblr, they used to be a little bit more instant than DeviantArt, because DeviantArt has, well, DeviantArt it's kind of tricky to navigate. It's not tricky, but you kinda have to be looking for something for it to show up. Whereas Tumblr, you can simply just scroll down so long as you're following, the right people, you just scroll down the feed indefinitely until you find something. So that makes it easier for you to just randomly find inspiration. And then there's ArtStation, which is a more recent option, recent-ish option. And the idea of ArtStation is that it is, in theory, a lot of professional artists and doing stuff up to industry standards of art related to anything. So that those people out there, they are the actual the people who do end up getting featured in ArtStation are the what we call the visionaries of the industry, the people who actually come up with original concepts, or not necessarily do come up with the original concept, but end up turning them into something more tangible. Whereas there's a lot of people with original concept, but they just end there in the concept phase. They don't work it out into a picture or anything. They just kind of, I came up with this idea, it's cool, but I will never work into it. Then someone comes and does. That's the kind of stuff you find on ArtStation. There's a lot of original content, and if it's not original in the sense that it's like just an idea that someone made for a passion project or something, that is pretty much just there, the picture that they posted in their ArtStation, you can also find real art made for games or movies or whatever. So it's something that it's more out there, like in the general public's mind, because a lot of people have seen it or interacted with it in some way. So you see a lot more of that in ArtStation than you would in Tumblr or DeviantArt. And those are one type of site to go looking for inspiration. The other site that I like to use quite often is Creative Uncut, which is a I don't even know exactly what term to use for it. Pretty much just a site that aggregates game artwork galleries. I don't know how exactly it works, but I imagine that the people who own and host the site, they kind of try to talk with game developers on the dev companies and try to broker a deal with them, like, hey, how about your artwork book? Can I post a fill of those artworks in our site? Maybe just the commercial stuff? Like the quote-unquote renders. Well, not even quote-unquote, they're just renders. I was gonna say quote-unquote final product look, but they're called renders. That's what they're called. And the renders are kind of, you know, they're kind of lame, but they're something, and you can find them over there in Creative Uncut. But sometimes you kind of hit a little bit of a jackpot with Creative Uncut, and you find galleries that have real worked out galleries with concept art and other stuff that you normally don't see, because with a lot of stuff in the industry, like movies, games, and whatnot, they don't want you the player, the gamer, to see the concepts, which is like just a bunch of pencil sketches going on, like, oh, this is where the game came from, and you see just a bunch of scribbles that don't look professional at all, don't look like presentable or something, you know, investors would feel like, oh wow, I can see this being a multi-billionaire product there. They're just scribbles that people would look at and say, well, it looks like a children made this. So they don't want people to see that because it's not as appealing as renders, where you can see normally like 3D renders, where you can see the finished visual of the character already, how they look in game. Normally the renders are like the character in their iconic pose from the promotional materials and rendered in game or in the game engine, one or the other, and it works. It kinda works. Well, it does work. Simple as that. It does work. But looking at renders is pretty boring, for me at least, because you get very little from renders. The most you get is to see like, wow, this is the engine that the game runs in. It's good enough to be able to render this and that details of the character. Like, I don't know, the details of their clothes is actually well done. The character has these or that many polygons in their design, so kudos for the engine to being able to handle all that. But you don't get to see a lot of insight into it. You just get to see the final product, the things that they want to show you, and that is kind of lame. And then afterwards you get sometimes you get lucky and you find those concept art, like real paper scribbles, or just like traditional drawings or digital drawings, but you find drawings and illustrations instead of those pesky renders. And those are much cooler because you get to see a lot more detail and passion that was added into it, and because they're not renders, sometimes you have more detail than just the character in their pose for the promotional materials. Sometimes you get stuff like background or little sketches here and there that points up to, hey, this character was supposed to have like a hidden knife in their arms, or they were supposed to have these many belt buckles going on in their weapon holster or whatever. You get those sorts of details you don't get in renders, like little notes and scribbles that just made it into It just made it into the the concept phase. And that's the cool thing about Creative Uncut, you find a lot of that sometimes. Some game galleries they don't have those, but a lot of them do. And it's very very cool to see those. I do imagine though that the games that do have those are like games whose pictures like that there you can kind of find them readily available everywhere. Which isn't which doesn't mean that Creative Uncut becomes meaningless, because a lot of those things that you can quote unquote find anywhere, it's still hard to find. Normally it's the stuff that the creators release in their own Twitter / Tumblr profiles, and unless you follow all of these artists, it's kind of hard to get a hold of these things. Another another site kinda like Tumblr for finding references is Twitter itself. I had forgotten about it. The cool thing about Twitter is that since posting stuff on Twitter is so very simple, instead of going like through menus and settings and configurations, you just copy and paste something into Twitter and it's there. Then you just hit publish and there you go. You have published you have published pretty much whatever. And Twitter now, it can handle like it can handle pictures, it can handle movies. I don't think it handles audio files on their own, but if you make a little movie with the audio file you want to send, it plays nonetheless. So if there's any sort of concept you wanna show to people that goes beyond just the pictures, Twitter is a good place for creators to post that kind of stuff. So following creators and designers in Twitter is an amazing way of getting in touch with those too. The problem with Twitter with that is that it is almost impossible for you to find art when you want to. You find all that art on Twitter, but you find it randomly. Like one day you're just scrolling through Twitter feeds and you end up coming across all those nice and cool concept arts, but when you're actively searching for some, it's not so reliable as the other ones. Even Tumblr isn't as reliable, but it's a little bit more because you can post tags. And speaking of tags, there's a lot of people who also use Pinterest to do those things. And anyway, what I mean to say is that there's a lot of sites out there that you can find good concept art from games and movies at, and depending on what you're looking for, it's easier to find, especially if you already have a good memory of where you last saw it. Just say, for example, if I want to find references of say hooded figures with big cloaks or hoods and whatnot, I will probably bet on looking over Assassin's Creed galleries, maybe Bloodborne as well. There's a few hooded figures going on in there, and maybe then maybe I'll look for the gallery. The galleries for Thief. That Eidos game? I think it's from Eidos. Anyway, that old game that also has some hooded figures in it, probably the main character. Oh, not probably, like definitely the main character. And if I do know what I'm looking for, that's what I do. I just go up there, look for the gallery that I know I will find what I'm looking for, maybe find a couple extras, and then look at those concepts for a long while until I figure out which one of them is the one that is most useful to me. Because sometimes, say for example, I want to make a hooded figure, but I want to make it simple. Just a simple hooded figure, instead of being like an intricate hood and whatnot. And in that case, some concepts will be better, some won't be as much, and so on and on and on. But sometimes either you have no idea what you're looking for, or you know exactly what you were looking for but you don't know where to find it. So you probably have not seen or played games that had it, the thing you're looking for, or the art books and artworks of the thing you're looking for didn't include that one piece of concept you're desperately looking for, which was my case yesterday. This character here, who I was talking about earlier, she's supposed to be a courtesan character, so she shouldn't have too flashy a design, but still flashy enough. And I was thinking, what do they look like, the courtesans in, say, 18th century? So into Google search I went, or rather into Creative Uncut I went, trying to look for games that I knew had some of those. I couldn't find any. The best I could find was the courtesans from Assassin's Creed 2, but that takes place in like the late 15th century, and while I kinda did go and use that designs, they kinda don't hold up that much, so I had to go with something else. And since I didn't know where else to find references for those things, I ended up giving up and looking up on Google search. And the good and bad thing about Google search is that depending on what exactly you're looking for, you will not find it. So I looked up courtesans 18th century instead of using, the broader, more general term. I used a very polite term. And my Google search yielded me a few results. Nothing too conclusive though, because a lot of those pictures I found were, well, did not feel like what I was looking and or going for. That's a lot of classy women with crazy hairdos. So in the end, I kind of ended up going and pulling all those loose references I found on my own and coming up with something. Oh, I came up with something pseudo original. It isn't fully based on one or more designs I found around. It's something I came up with on the spot for lack of better references and resources, which kinda works but isn't good because there's big gaping holes in that like concept area on the influence. Which isn't necessarily good to have, but it's okay if you do have every now and then. Especially for like background characters such as those. But still, it was a good little exercise to learn and understand a little bit more about that. And in the end, I suppose that it kinda did go and work out. Because this character that I have made and came up with, even though she doesn't look as unique or as interesting, she still has a look to her that you can tell isn't the same look as this other character here. But then again, there's other stuff at play here that generated this, because it wasn't so much that I was able to find good references for her. It was more so also of a understanding what is going on here. So I looked at this character I have here, just supposed to be a noble character. So she dresses herself and wears her hair in a particular manner, and this other character should not be able to emulate that look so easily. I had to make changes in a few changes here and there in the clothing, in the looks, to be able to kinda emulate this character here, but kinda like a faulty knockoff, you know. Making her look like this character here, but also not quite. So I think that this muzzle here is a touch too long. Okay, I think it's better now. Better-ish now. You don't ever realize how off your proportions and understanding of anatomy is until you start drawing these characters in weird poses and angles. This isn't even that complicated a pose, but just because I'm drawing hair from behind, it looks different. It feels different. It feels wrong in some ways. Like her neck feels a little bit too thick, even though it shouldn't. So go figure that. Anywho, this is the last sketch for this page, which is just this character here, the Casanova guy from the previous page, kind of jumping out the window now. You should have a cockish grin going on. Because if I were to draw this scene here but with human characters, I think that the expression that would most certainly fit them would be a... Just a second while I try to think about it. Because it would be a guy with their head slightly tilted up, looking, their eyes half closed, super chill eyelids, half closed almost. With a kind of a side grin going on, showing up a little bit of teeth here on the side as their mouth perks up. One of the corners perks up a little bit. And we can see a little bit of teeth there. That kind of cocky grin that I'm talking about. Maybe with slightly less raised eyebrows, it looks a little bit more I forget the term. It looks a little bit more feasible, that is. Less cartoonish and more realistic. And also, hello there, 1 of 4. Wolf morning to you, and happy Friday. How are you doing? How is it going? And you ask, where have you been? In all caps. This past week, well, this current week that is currently passing, it was a odd week, because Tuesday was a holiday, unholy holiday, full of controversy, by the way. Then Wednesday was, well, Wednesday was also a holidays aftermath sort of deal. And Monday was just like, well, we came from the weekend into one day to then go to the unholy holidays. Might as well have this Monday go with it as well. So I ended up taking the, what's it called, the Monday, the Tuesday off. Just on the Wednesday I did a little stream here with Neku. He came over to visit us, so he was here and we streamed Enter the Gungeon together for a little bit. It was fun. You should have seen it. Then we did well, then on the next day, the Tuesday, I didn't stream because I had to drive him to the airport. So that's what happened. I wasn't here Monday and Tuesday because we were pretty much enjoying the holidays, unholy holidays. And Wednesdays I did a stream with him, and Tuesday I was driving him to the airport, and now I'm working on comic stuff after being late because I didn't stream for 3 days in the week. But yeah, that's where I have been. How about you, 104? Where have you been? 104 says, you said see you Wednesday. You did? When? Are you sure? You got no alerts or anything? Yes, I did stream on Wednesday. If there was no alerts, I don't know what happened. But then again, Twitch has been acting up quite a lot. In recent memory, it might have acted up again, which wouldn't be surprising. But yeah, I did stream on the Wednesday. I'm sorry you didn't get to see it. And also, hello there, Kizzy Fox. Woof morning or afternoon, I suppose. To you, how's it going? And welcome to the stream. And thanks for calling me a cutie. I'm not, but thank you. How are you doing? I am doing good myself. Just working here on some comic stuff. Trying to get this character here to look right. And by right, I mean look like a Casanova dude, more or less. Who was romanticizing this girl here, and then now he has to valiantly, if that is even a word, escape through the window. So he kinda is about to jump off. This face here is just a human counterpart of what this expression that I'm trying to do would look like in a human person. And one of us says, and I was awake. Well, don't worry. 104. You were missed, but at least it wasn't the end of the world. And 104 also said the dog he is very much a cutie. I am not. Why would you say such big blatant lies? 104 expected more of you. And Key says, are you taking any song requests today? I am not, unfortunately. I stopped taking song requests forever, and now I'm just playing the same royalty-free songs that I got from YouTube, royalty-free music library. Because, you know, since I end up doing a lot of videos that in some way or another are about art and have some sort of lessons, tutorials, or takeaways, I would not like for them to get muted when I post them online because of copyright strikes and infringements and stuff. So I stopped using copyrighted music when I do that kind of stuff, because I don't want my videos to get muted or banned in countries. I don't know what's up with Germany, but they love to hate some musics that I end up playing. Who knows even. Anywho. Yeah. Then I stopped playing copyrighted songs, and I'm just playing these royalty-free jazzy songs that I have found. And I hope you guys enjoy them, because that's what we're gonna be listening for the rest of the day. And one of us says, "Don't lie, Doug. We all know you are a cutie." And talk about being two-faced. And don't lie, you didn't miss you. You said, "Thank Doug 104 isn't here to ruin our fun with his face." I did not say that. Not at all. Of course, I didn't go and vocalized out loud how lame it was that you weren't there, but I deep down in my heart I missed you being here. It's fun when you're here. And you weren't. And so I missed the fun that you normally bring with yourself. I just didn't go out and say that, but I did. So those upper teeth there are kinda make him look a little bit evil. Go figure. Well, anywho. Hello there, Kazi. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? I said, hello, what is hoping? I'm working on this today's comic up page of the comic, and as always, I'm very late. How about you, Kaze? How have you been doing? And how are you doing in this delicious Friday? How are you guys doing today's Friday as well? 104 on Kizzy. As it happens, it has been an entire week since I have seen you, 104, so I'm curious about news and updates about you and your life. And Kizzy, I haven't seen you ever since in forever, and then ever since the last time you showed up, so I'm slightly concerned and somewhat curious about how has your life been going? All of yours is lives. Q says, fair shout, cutie. TBF, I don't know what TBF means. To be frank, I will be taking them less in the future too. Oh, why is that? Also because of the copyright thing, or just because? Also, have you still sorry, have you still been streaming? I have not seen you stream in forever. I had the suspicion from, you know, Twitter posts and not seeing you around. I had the suspicion that something had happened, like something sad or complicated happened in your life that made you stop streaming for a long while, and also made big changes in your life. I was worried and concerned. But hopefully you're doing better now. I hope. One of us says, yeah, it's better with non-copyrighted stuff. I like them. Oh, sure, you didn't even mention me. I'm not worth to mention. I also was the time of nice. I mean, come and run is a bit evil. What? I showered and got dashed. How do you even say that? Dusk. Soap in your eyes so it hurts, and you're having anxiety since you should go out and get groceries. And you have mostly just been streaming. Well, streaming is one way of, you know, doing stuff. So hooray for that. But you should go out and get groceries. Don't let the anxiety stop you from doing stuff you need to do or want to do on the floor. Don't let it control you. And I didn't mention you because I was doing a... Well, like I said, I was streaming together with Niku when he was here. And we were kind of talking while playing the game, and we were playing Enter the Gungeon, which was very, very, very complicated to play and pay attention to a conversation. I tried not to bring up any more subjects than we already had to the table, otherwise we wouldn't be able to concentrate on anything. So I didn't mention you because I didn't feel it would be relevant to say, oh, I wish someone was here. While sure, that is a valid sentiment, it kinda downplays everyone else that is currently there. Like, imagine how you would feel if I said, oh, 104, it's so good that you're here, but I wish Oni was here too. How would that make you feel? It would make you feel like, well, then I guess that my presence here isn't enough for Douglas. Or not, maybe you're not the jealous kind? Jealous is the right word, I guess. Well, anyway, it would not feel nice for you being here to hear me say I wish someone else were here. And that aside, I don't know what the hell you were doing with your life, so I was secretly hoping you would just show up eventually. Then you didn't. But there was always a chance that you could show up during the stream, hence I didn't say anything. Anywho, Kaza says TBF means to be fucked. What is that head? It's a reference, pretty much. This is the kind of expression I wanted this guy to have. And how do I translate that to a animal face? Well, I did this. Hopefully, it kind of matches the feeling. Hard to say for sure, but I have hope that it does matches the feeling, and that people will be able to understand it fairly easily. And one of us says, oops, shower soap. Dusk is the Swedish word. If I was sub, I would have responded with, I'd let you control me. What? I didn't feel you would be relevant 104, quote unquote. What do you mean by that? And you constantly say that about Oni though. Why? Doug, of course, it would be nice. It would be nice if he said that. He just torn a face of a human, no B. It was his gift to his GF. Well, now that you say so, it kinda could have been interpreted that way. I can barely wait for the conspiracies that people are gonna be putting up in the wiki whenever they go and make up a Douglas Works wiki. Because right now I don't think we're too far off from that. I mean, of course we are. Who the hell am I kidding? We're very far off from me having a wiki of my own concerning my creations and characters and stuff. But I would go and say that we're not super far off, because I'm not 100% sure that you guys have gone and saw it, but a week-ish ago, I think it has been almost precisely 7 days, on the internet surfaced on U18chan rather surfaced a revised, redacted version of my comic, which I probably discussed here in the stream before. By discussed I mean I acknowledge it exists. Didn't talk too much about it though, just said sure it exists, it's there, go read it. And that's it. And because that exists, I can only imagine that there are people out there who are, you know, fans enough of my content that they are actually willing to dedicate a little bit of time of their lives to, you know, curate and or modified said content, which is actually a very nice gesture. But anywho, what that truly actually means is that the chance for wiki Douglas's stuff, Douglas's comics and shit, wiki popping up is slightly higher now than it was, like, say, a year ago or so. Go figure. Anywho, this Call Me Daddy redacted comic that surfaced around the internet, I read it, and I have to be honest, I enjoyed reading it. A lot of people though saw it and were incredibly mad at it. And I don't know, do you guys want to discuss that? I have a couple things I would like to say, but well, if you guys are okay with that, otherwise we can keep on talking about meaningless stuff. And by meaningless I mean other stuff that possibly has a meaning and or is important in its own right. But who am I kidding? Of course I'm gonna talk about the comic things. As it happens, when I first caught wind of it, when people said, "Hey Doug, check this out. Someone did a redacted version of your comic," I said, "Whoa, let's go and check it out." Then I went and did check it out, and to begin with, I was like, wow, someone did go through so much work to do this thing. Then I went in on U18chan and posted a comment, say, hey, it is I, the creator, and I actually like this thing. It's fun, and I had a good time rereading this. But then after I posted that, like minutes after I posted that, I thought, hey, that is actually not a good thing, not a good move for me to go and do. To go see that someone came and edited my content and just posted it online just like that. And then I, minutes later, go and say, hey, this is cool, I like it, nice work. That is not a good move. I shouldn't be endorsing them. I'm saying, hey, this is a very disrespectful thing you did of picking up my content, editing it, and possibly ruining completely the original vision and posting it around. I approve of that. Keep doing that. I can't do that because, in one way, even though I liked it, their attitude was wrong. They should not have gone and done that kind of stuff without asking for permission. And even if they did ask for permission and I gave it, the way that they presented their work is disrespectful at best, saying like, hey, we liked your content, but we think we can make it better. And then they proceed to go and edit the whole thing, say, hey, we like your stuff, but here's our version which is better. And then a lot of people came and said, hey, it's not better, it's actually much worse. I can't very well go and leave that there and say, hey, congrats, kudos on doing that, do more of that. So I went back and edited my comments saying, hey, also a pro tip, but more so of an advice. Whenever you do that kind of stuff, ask for permission first, or else you can get in serious big trouble with people. Originally I hadn't said that, but afterwards I came back, edited my comment to include that. Because I also thought, hey, if I go and legitimize what they have done with my comic, that would kinda nullify other artists that have had their work stolen and had people go and, well, other artists that had their work stolen and then had to kind of try and fight off the quote-unquote fans. Like, hey, you fucked up my work, don't do that. The fans would be like, but I'm such a fan of yours, if it wasn't for me your work would be meaningless, and yada yada yada, and this and that. Sometimes people have crazy reasonings, and if I go and legitimize these folk here, I would in a way be legitimizing all these other sort of folks, and that would not be good for my fellow artists out there. So I went back and changed my stance for being, I totally super love it, keep doing that, or show, hey, I liked it, but don't do that in the future without asking for permission first. And also, hello there JPenny TV, Wolf Morning, and welcome to the stream. How are you doing in this lovely Friday? And not only that, but hello and welcome as well, Ben. Wolf Morning. So Ben, I have a question. I keep welcoming you and saying, hey Ben, how is it going? How are you doing? But either you are very busy and you don't get those things I said, and you kind of just hang out and do a little shout out, or you don't get it that I'm talking to you and I call you Ben. So what would you rather me call you, Ben or Fox Guy 75, or how would you prefer that I call you? And JPenny TV says, I'm doing great so far, how about you? I'm doing good myself. Kinda thoughtful. Which is like my my default way of being is thoughtful, reflexive quite a lot. More than it is healthy, for sure. That's how I am right now. Just, you know, keeping things in mind, thinking about things that there's no reason to think about currently. But I'm also doing good. I'm enjoying the Friday. This couple last days were slightly more chill, which was good, because goddamn, we need a break from this heat. I'm done with these over 30 degrees temperatures. They have to go. But other than that, I have been doing good. Just thoughtful now that also, because I didn't stream Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, alongside with the past few days here and there that I didn't stream. I have some time to make up, some lost stream time that I have to make up for. And also I didn't do these weeks as a game dev stream. So that sucks. And I have to get into doing that. But like I said, those are the kind of stuff I keep thinking about that doesn't really helps. Nonetheless, I'm doing good. How about you though? What fun stuff have you done this week? Even though I have already asked that to you on the Wednesday. What have you been doing this couple last days? Hopefully fun things. And J Penny says also, oh man, I wish it were so hot in here as well. Currently it's like minus 10 degrees over there. Oh man. So the both of us could balance it out. Make a average between minus 10 degrees and 30 something degrees. And make it a nice 20, 18, 15-ish degrees combined temperature for each. Which isn't like superbly hot, but it's more comfortable than the temperatures that both of us are going through right now. Which would be cool. And Fox guy said, hey Doug, I'm good, and yeah, sorry about not replying. I'm normally at work when I catch your stream. Also, your last semester of college is really getting tough. I don't know what's going on with it. Getting tough in which way? I mean, I just said that you sometimes you can't answer, so I'm not gonna wait back on a reply from that. But if you do have the time, let me know. I like hearing from you. And I'm sorry you can't find the time to be here more often, but if you can, I would like to hear from you more often, that is. Also, I think that the problem with proportions here is that this guy's head is much bigger than... Actually, it isn't that big. It's the right size. How weird. What I have to do now is sketch an entire background for this panel here, and then I will finally be done. MJ Penny says, just been drawing some sketches and when we'll switch places. I mean, if I could, of course I would want to. But that isn't a possibility. Alas. But anywho. As I said. What are you sketching? What have you been doing and drawing? Because I would totally like to see it someday. I don't know if you're part of our Discord channel thing, because if you are, then please do show your drawings later. I would like to see them. If not, then I guess I could do with a visual description. I mean, just an audio description of what the visuals are. I can easily work with both. Alright, I think I have enough drawings, sketches here for the whole thing. Now I just need the frames and then we can start it up. Okay, I think this does it for the frames. We can get that action going on. And Fox Guy said, my semester is getting tough because of deadlines and the amount of work. Next week you have 2 exams and a project due. Oh my dog. Sounds like a lot of work indeed. I'm sorry to hear so, Ben. But, well, on the good side, you're almost done-ish with whatever it is that you do study, so hooray, whatever it is that you're having to endure, you probably won't have to endure it for much longer. And yeah, you gotta love them people knocking on the ceiling. And also, hello there, Tiger. Wolf morning and welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? And J Penny says, but by the way, how long have you been drawing? How long have I been drawing for? I guess, if you count like officially or and stuff, I've been drawing since 2007-ish. So that's however many years that is. But in 2007 I was in... Actually no. Actually yes. In 2007 I was in last year of middle school doing... or just drawing random stuff just because. Then in 2008 and 2009 I kind of found about the first random and I was drawing random stuff. And ever since then, I never stopped drawing. If I had begun earlier, I would probably be better. That isn't the case, though. And Ben says, also, Doug, keep calling me Ben. It's weird hearing you call Fox Guy 75. Oh, that's one way to get your attention, for sure, though. But sure thing, I keep calling you Ben. Even though there's a bigger chance of you not and responding back, but still. Well, best of luck with college and with work, and whenever possible, do. My dog, what are they doing here? Nonetheless, whenever possible, do keep in touch. Don't be a stranger. I have a commission I have to do for you still. Because I haven't forgotten, I just have not had the time to go and do it alongside with other commissions I have to work on. And Tiger, you are doing fine. That is good. Great to hear you're doing fine. I need... Sure, why not? I need a little perspective ruler here to kinda figure out the scene here. I don't need it per se, but it would be better if I had some sort of perspective ruler to guide my background drawing. Because you know, whenever I go and do backgrounds using a perspective ruler, people seem to like my work more. So maybe that's something worth considering and implementing more often. Who knows? I'd even turn it into a career. Anywho, 104 says, why are people knocking on the ceiling? I wish I knew. Last week, I think it was, there was also a lot of knocking on the ceiling, but it was because they, the mysterious ominous they, were fixing the water thing, the water tank on top of the ceiling, in the rooftop of the building. Now, as for today, I have no idea why they are doing that much noise. Go figure. Could be any reason, really. Might not even be on the ceiling, might be on the neighbor's house. Or whatever the reason is, there's noise happening. And there's nothing I can do about it. You might have thought, but Doug, of course you can do something about it. You can be that kind of neighbor who goes up to their door and say, hey, I'm trying to do a thing here, could you please keep quiet? And you would be right about that. Theoretically, I would be able to go and do that, but just that, There we go, now we have a sketched out background. Lovely. It's a background everyone can look at, enjoy, and have fun with. Possibly, probably. Whatever fun you can have with a hand-drawn weird ass background window thing. Well, words, that's what I'm talking about. And one of us says, oh, they are hammering. I thought you meant knocking, like, stop, Doug, be quiet. I'm not the noisy one. I'm the quiet one. And also, Ben says, sounds like Doug has someone knocking at his door. Now they're hammering something. Possibly trying to fix something or nail something to the walls. I have a clock, one of those wall clocks, too. and it used to go on the wall until the day it fell off. I don't very well remember how it fell off. It just was on the wall. Now it isn't on the wall anymore, and that's the thing I have to do one of these days. Go and hammer the wall and put it back there, because I haven't gotten around to doing that. But I should. But I haven't. But I should. But I haven't. But I totally should and could and will one day. The day is not today though. Okay, so now I have many things going on in here. I'm gonna pick up these background layers. I'm gonna hide the layout. I don't need that anymore. I'm gonna hide the sub-sketch. I'm gonna hide all these layers here. And lower the opacity of this sketch and get the line art going, because goddamn, I need to get this thing done ASAP as possible. 104 says I don't want to go grocery shopping. Why not? I mean, I hear and understand your pain, but still. Also, Dad, you are so good at drawing. Also, wait, I thought of something while making food. You were like, ugh, my lion had such long hair, it was so annoying. But he's a lion, Doug. If you don't like big hair, what? Then why go for a lion? It's like being annoyed that the giraffe Boyles has tall necks. I was not. What the hell are you talking about? I wasn't annoyed that he had that big hair. What I said, possibly, if I remember correctly, is that it was what is the term I'm looking for? There has more. Well, cleaning up the house out was a bigger chore when he had longer hair. Because, you know, there's tufts of hair all over the place, and a lot of that, you know, would end up getting caught everywhere. So cleaning up the house took a little bit longer, and a lot of hair kept getting caught in our chairs wheel, those office chairs with wheels. The hair kept getting caught on them, and I believe that that's bad for them. So that's what I was talking about. I didn't complain about him having big hair. So get your facts straight, 104. And also, I didn't go for a lion, as you say. I just met him and it was nice. He is nice. I wasn't out hunting for lions or anything of the sort. That's not how you meet people, you know. I mean, it is a way to meet people, but that's not the way I did. Anywho. Sam says, greeting Mr. Douglas and everyone. I wonder who everyone is. How do you all do? Today is the day that we respect women, not womans. But me and my friends refer to them as we men or woman. What? I wonder. So many English questions came popping in my head now. Anywho, welcome to the stream, Sam. How are you doing in this lovely Friday? Hopefully you're having a good one.
11 months Bork Squad.
Oh my doggone. Welcome to the stream, coming in with this subwoof. 11 months of being in the Borg squad, whatever that is. Well, welcome and thank you very much, Oni, for your delicious continued support. Glad to have you around, boyo. How have you been? How are you doing? How has things been going? And Wolf Friday to you too, Oni. What's up? And 104 says you were all about the hair being everywhere and you had to clean so much. Yes, and if you like lions, you gotta be prepared for shedding. I was. I did clean up all the hair. And I did. Wait, what? Okay. What are you even talking about, 104? That's not the subject we were gonna talk about. We were gonna talk about the whole issue with the people making a quote-unquote fan version of my comic. That's what we were gonna talk about, or at least that's what I had planned to talk about. Until you came about and changed my plans. Oh, you pesquillo. But yeah, it isn't much. All I was just gonna say is that for the past week, I had been enjoying seeing what the hell. Well, I read the comic, the revised quote-unquote version, and then I left a comment there, which I discussed a little bit about already. And then the past day, a couple days ago I think, I went back over to see what people were saying. And what do you know, there was this one guy who said, "Wow, I hate this revision." And then that guy, or girl, whoever they were, my dog, they must be really passionate about my work, not that much though, because they did go and complain about the way my work was not perfect. But they certainly had the time to spare, because they wrote a gigantic text. And also they had a very good memory of my comics. I guess they did read it at least one time, like fully paying attention to everything. And they talked about and they talked about like these fans, they have the hubris on them to go and rewrite the comic saying, "Oh, we like your work so much, but here's our version and how we can make it better." And then they proceeded to take out so many writing cues that was there on purpose. They say that they want to make the writing better, but they don't understand how writing works at all. Or so says Mr. Stewart. Because these people that wrote the revision, they also wrote a little preface in the beginning of the comic saying, "We didn't like this and this and that in the original one, so here's how we gone and done about that." So they go and comment a little bit about how the original comic the original story dealt with certain things, and how they choose to go and, well, change that. And this person was complaining about how they don't understand visual storytelling and storytelling altogether. They kept saying that some things happened, there was more going on implicitly, and not all the story was like explicit. There was a lot of subtlety going on in certain parts, in certain plot lines, in certain moments, scenes, and whatnot. And they did go and they took all of it out. And he gave a few examples like, this here was supposed to be something like this and that. The character having gone and done bad stuff doesn't mean that it's bad writing. it's a story that is based not about like an adventure where the characters are there just to make sure that the adventure goes forward. It's a story about character development. So for the character to develop, he has to fuck up, and it also doesn't make the writing bad or the character bad. It just is a realistic take on storytelling that is, well, that is a writing choice, which is what the original writer, who is me, did. So why go and change that? It was good the way it was. But the people who rewrote it had little to no understanding of how to do visual storytelling, so they made a lot of things painfully obvious and took away all the subtlety and the quote-unquote charm of the original story. And that's pretty much what the guy had, or girl, or animal, or inanimate object, had gone and done and said. That gave a lot of examples about how my story actually made sense to be the way it was. The writing wasn't perfect, but it worked with the theme and the setting and everything else. And at the end of the day, I was like, oh wow, someone actually got it. All those things and scenes and stuff that I have done here and there, I was thinking like, haha, I'm so clever. I'm doing cool visual storytelling stuff. I have received over the past few years several comments of people on Forfinity and other sites being confused about what the hell was going on, whereas some things were kinda just a little bit more implicit rather than explicit. And I kept thinking, do people actually understand what I'm doing? If they actually understand what I'm doing, there wouldn't be these many confused people wondering what the hell is going on. But no, what do you know, this guy actually understood everything I was doing, story-wise. If he didn't agree, or a girl, or an animated object, or all those other things I said, maybe they don't agree with all the things I did, but they did understand it. So, hooray, I am actually okay-ish at storytelling. Who knew? And one of us says, Doug called me pesky, and I have to go by. Why? Why do you have to go, 104? You could stay here, you know. You don't have to go. Unless you want to go, but then again, that's a different problem altogether. But sure thing, if you have to go, I won't keep you here. Especially because I can't. I have no power over you. So it's very hard to keep you here. But nonetheless, thanks for stopping by and showing up, 104, and I hope you have a delicious, wonderful, awesome day. And I'll catch you later. And 104 says, you told me to go get groceries though. I mean, you could always wait until my stream is done, you know. But yeah, you do have to go and get groceries. Don't like I keep saying every single day of every single stream, real life comes first. No matter how much you want to stay here or do stuff and be with me and your other many friends that are here, you have to take care of your real life stuff. So go do that. And we'll be here when you come back, probably, hopefully. And if we're not here when you do come back, then you can always watch the replay. And if you are not a huge fan of replays, then, well, at least you will be able to sit down and think to yourself, at least I went grocery shopping, so that's good. I'm a productive boy.
Woof.
Oh my god, Marcus, hello there. Welcome to the stream, man. Thank you so very much for that resub, woof. That's what now? According to Twitch, it's 0 months in a row, but it's actually much more than that. You're already a 1-year subwoofer. Nonetheless, welcome. Happy Friday. Thank you so very much for resubwoofing. Super duper appreciate that. And that means you also get the moves going on. How are you doing today, Marcus? How's life treating you so far? How are you doing? And Kaze says, "Oh God, that's annoying." What is annoying, Kaze? And Ben says, "Doug, I hear you say something about game developing. You making a game?" Yes, I am making a game. For a long time ago, well, for a long time period, I have been wanting to make a visual novel game of sorts. I did go and play quote unquote. By play I mean seed and acknowledge its existence of Black Kate, that visual novel by Bane, I think is his name. My dog Oni, you and your squeaky toys. Welcome back, by the way. I saw Bane's visual novel and I thought, wow, visual novels are cool, I wanna do one. And then I went and did. It was called The Overtime. Some of you may have seen it or played it. Some of you may not have. It's very short. More of an experiment, really, more than anything else. And it lasts for like 10 minutes. Maybe a little bit more if you really take your time reading, but for the average person it will take 10 to 15 minutes to do all 6 endings, I guess, 5 or 6 endings, so It was me trying my hand at visual noveling. And I said, okay, now it's time to do something bigger, something more wowy. Which I then said, well, let's go and do that. But for years I kept bamboozling myself with, how the heck am I even gonna go and do a visual novel? I don't know how. I mean, I do know how to make a visual novel, but I don't know how to make systems. I'm not a programmer, coder, and I don't have a story in mind. I have a story set up, but I don't have a story per se. It was gonna be like about this guy who kind of just loses his job and then his dilemma. Oh, there was actually this guy that like lost a significant other and then shortly afterwards lost his job, so he's in this pitfall, this emotional pitfall of I'm not feeling good. And the idea of the game was that you would have to go and balance his personal life with his financial life, so you would have to make certain decisions at several moments, like, do I want to be with this person and feel less alone, or do I want to do these or that things to go and improve my chances of landing a new job now that I'm unemployed and stuff. But I thought, you know what, why do I need to write that? Why do I need to do that as a system where you have to actually be able to land a job? If you could have something much simpler going on, like force a job to simply happen and then that's it. You have a job going on and then you don't need to go around trying to... If you go and have a job going on already, I wouldn't have to to think up a system for that, which would be simpler to do. Then the only last part to figure out would be the whole relationship with other characters part. But anyway, there were so many incognitos going on in that little project, and I didn't have the time because I was finishing up the Golden Week. Then I did the entirety of the 3 parts, 3 issues in the Call Me Whatever series. And then I ended up never actually thinking and doing this visual novel thing. but I always wanted to go and do that because, you know, I like doing new things. And then I asked one day on Twitter, like, hey, I have to go and do a visual novel. What are your suggestions, internet? And someone said, why don't you go and do the sequel to Call Me Yours on a visual novel format? And then I said, wow, somehow I had not thought of that. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to do Call Me Yours, the final part, in a visual novel format. Except that the story will suffer a few changes here and there, since I plan to end it as a comic. I planned it as a comic. It had a certain structure that I wanted to follow, because, you know, with this new series I have been limiting myself to 20 pages per issue, so the issue has to be introduced, discussed, and resolved within 20 pages, so I can have more than that going on. So there was just gonna be 2 more issues that would be the rest of everything, and that would be it. But now, with it being a visual novel, I can expand it a little bit further, or a whole lot further, and make new, more interesting dilemmas for you guys to rack your brains over. Because that's what I like doing, is creating dramas that you guys are gonna feel bad about. Ain't that fun? And Marcus says, good so far, and yourself? I'm doing good. You were walking with a dog, and yeah, you are enjoying it. Aw. That's super duper cool. So how has your week been thus far, Marcus? What sort of cool stuff have you been doing that I have not been able to follow up on? Alas. And Bad Aim Kun. Suddenly you show up. How's it going? How are you doing? In this very warm Friday that we're having. But then again, since it is the day of the fry, it's no wonder that it is this hot. I wish there was less frying going on though. And Kun, you are working from home and your boyfriend is there. Oh, lovely. I don't know if your boyfriend is watching the stream as well, but in case he is, hello there, Kun's boyfriend. Welcome to the stream as well. How are you doing today, in this day of the fry? And Marcus said, always happy when I find the time to walk with some of the dogs. Also, when you don't can own a dog for yourself. There's a little bit of problem with your English there, but that's alright. So, what do you mean whose dogs are walking if they're not your own? Do you like... whose dogs are you walking? Because I guess you're doing that as a favor for someone, or you're like doing a little work to do that. So I wonder which one is it. And Kuhn says not really watching, but he can hear you. He says, "Oh, hi, Mark." Mark? Who is Mark? What is Mark? What? Nah, I'm bamboozled. God damn you. And Marcus says, "What was wrong?" And you walk for dogs out of the animal shelter. Oh, that's cool. Those dogs do deserve some love. You take them and walk them and give them some happy times out of the grid. Yeah, that's nice. That's mighty nice of you, Marcus. Those poor forlorn dogs, they deserve the love that they don't get as much. And what was wrong with your sentence is that you said, "When I can own a dog for myself," that is wrong because you don't say "I can." You would say "I can not own a dog," or "I can't," or "I cannot." You don't need to have the "do" in that sentence. Unless, of course, instead of saying of your ability, to own a dog, like "I can" or "I cannot own a dog," when you're saying about, or when you're talking about your current state, you say "I don't own a dog" because you do not have a dog with you. But you could if you wanted to, but you don't have it. Maybe out of choice, maybe out of convenience, maybe out of whatever. But if you say that you are unable to have a dog, be it for whatever reason it is, then you say that you can't own a dog. So that's what was wrong with your sentence. You use both forms, and it made for a kind of confusing sentence of you don't can. Unless you meant to say something like, "Currently I cannot own a dog," but then the structure would be different. But anyway. Kuhn, you said "The Room." Oh, is that a quote from "The Room"? I have not watched that movie. Whereas everyone else has. I haven't. So all your "The Room" quotes are not very effective on me, I'm sorry to say. And Kaze, you're still whelp. What's up, Kaze? America says, "Got it, and thanks." And time is the biggest factor, cause I can't let him or her alone for 13 hours. Wow, are you out of your house that long? That's a lot of time to be out of home. But yeah, 13 hours is way too much time to leave a dog alone at home. So don't do that. Also, what's up, Oni? Are you not gonna share your day with us today, or just gonna be over there in the corner showing on your squeaky toy? We miss you, Oni. And Kaza says, "Love watching your stream while practicing, but gotta go to work now." Oh yeah, you are a worker boy now, Kaze. So sure thing. Nonetheless, thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a delightfully awesome day, and I hope to see you later. Stay awesome, Kaze. Take care. And have a good weekend. Because dog knows we need good weekends. Speaking of good weekends, this weekend we're gonna be playing some delicious Dungeons and Dragons, aren't we? I believe we are. But Doug, why are we playing some Dungeons and Dragons this week? Because a few months ago rather, we decided, you know what, maybe we could go and get together and play Dungeons and Dragons, we in the group. And then we decided to go and do that. A few weeks of planning and pondering went into it. And then the previous week, and we ended up playing our first session, and it apparently worked out well enough that people want to play another round of that. So there you have it. It was supposed to be a weekly thing, but alas, this weekend with, you know, holidays and visitors and whatnot, we couldn't play because I wasn't gonna be around. But this weekend we can and we will. And once again I will be streaming it. So I just have to find out how to stream it, because the last time I did stream it I realized something very crucial very late, and that was that everyone could see everyone's people could join in on the stream feed and check out DM stuff that they were not supposed to be able to see, like enemies' positions and scores and whatnot. But things people should not be able to see, they were able to see because there they were. I'm gonna try and figure out how can I make that happen this time. How can I stream that content without throwing in spoilers? So I probably will go and get another account logged in on Roll20, sort of a player account that can't see that sort of stuff, just as a spectator who kind of floats around the map and checks what's going on. Whereas I'll be controlling the actual stats, placements and stuff on another on another browser window that isn't being broadcasted, so nobody will be able to see those things they shouldn't be able to see. And Marcus says, yeah, in the summer season it can be that long, and this is the only chance to spend time with a dog. Well, then you should enjoy it, Marcus. And I'm glad you did. Also, the dogs in the animal shelter, they deserve the love, and they are certainly not getting it as often or as frequently as they should. So good on you for being a good boy and doing that. And taking them out to the walkies and whatnot. And then it says, but I'm okay. I'm a good boy suffering with a stuffy nose. What? Why? But you're happy you finished your work, or rather the project you worked on 2 days stop. What project, Oni? And Chao, Kaze, and Kun, you say Quack, and D&D, yes. We had good people in the stream, not spoiling that stuff, and you only had the chat open on the stream itself. Also, remember the Discord overlay so people can know who is talking, yes. I will do that as soon as I find out how to do that. I tried to look into the Discord options for overlays and whatnot, and I couldn't really figure out how to stream that. I don't know if any of you ever fiddled with streaming programs, but the idea is that you have to set up a source from where something is coming that you want to stream it, and I don't think that the Discord overlay counts as an individual little thing I can grab and record, like just the overlay itself. So worst case scenario, we'll have to find some sort of script or widget for OBS. I did find one actually. I just didn't go around testing it, implementing it, but I did find one, so it might exist. It might be a thing. So I don't have to depend on Discord itself. Can do it through other outside sites. But that's always a slight concern depending on outside sites. And only says gross walkies. You don't like walkies, too much workies. And the drawing I did, Doug. Which drawing though? I haven't seen it. Oni, you forget sometimes that I'm not omnipresent and omniscient. I can't. I don't know of things I have not been told about or have not seen. And boy oh boy, are you mighty confused if you think I do go and check out everything everyone says on the Discord. I do try to keep up with what's going on and what's being said, but sometimes there's just too much stuff and I end up not seeing all of it. So yeah, I have no idea what drawing that would be only, but I will check it out as soon as I'm done here. See, what is it that you have been spent 2 days working on? Speaking of which, as I was coming up with this character here yesterday, the courtesan, I ended up doing a little design for her, and I thought, wow, you know what, maybe Oni would like that. And as I was doing more and more, I ended up realizing that nah, she doesn't look that unique for me to, you know, show Oni, because I figured that you like character, and character design has like interesting clothes, and the clothes that she had, I had an idea to make them like better and more interesting, but in the end I opted for the simpler design because it was gonna be easier to do here on this page, and especially because it's not a character that's gonna keep showing up. It's only gonna show up for a few pages, and she's not even the focus of the page. Might as well not spend too much time adorning her clothes. And Kun says I can link you something that might help with the overlay. Please do. Marcus don't get what Oni means. It's not gettable, really, so don't worry, Marcus. And Kun saw his latest picture. It's beautiful and full of emotion. And Tiger says it was a great picture. And Oni, you linked me the picture. Let me check it out. Oh wow. Oh wow, that is actually pretty cool. Pretty dang dope, Oni. See, that's the kind of quality I know you can do and you should be doing more often. With the crispier lines, more concise coloring. Very soft shading as well. It works very well. It looks very good on you. And even go and give that a little retweet because you deserve it. There you go, get retweeted. You fantastic boy, oh you. And Marcus says this looks cool. Marcus says yes, this one. And you also sent me a link to support.discord app.com/hc/n-us/2234157007-using-core-s-obs-stringkit-overlay. So that is a thing I can do. Cool. Also, Discord itself has a StringKit thing. I wonder where it is though. Apparently I have to go into the Discord options, connections. What do you know? I can't check that out because the streamer mode is active. Check out the string kit from Discord. Sure, I'll do that later. That's a lot of information right now for me to go and check out randomly during the stream. Nonetheless, thanks for the heads up, Kun. I'll check that out. And Oni, you said with a bit of help from Nathan. He helped you with drawing out the clouds. The jacket is a unique idea I made. It looks cool. I like it. So you said it took you like 2 days to do that, didn't you? Because I do remember when I began drawing and doing like full-on illustrations like that, they used to take me 2 days as well, like quite a long while to do, until I started doing comics and realizing that for comics you have to streamline a lot of stuff. And then I started doing stuff that is simpler and less complicated. But yeah, taking 2 days is like pretty good time actually for that, for a picture of that size and quality. I just need to go and do more of that, Oni. America says the jacket looks German. If you look down, it is a German flag. Yes, the colors are. I think it is the same colors I chose when I randomly drew Mr. Regan Kibbles. No, it was actually Jetsu, the good tired boy. How do I remember that, you might wonder? Heck if I know, but I know I did. If I go over here in my blast your drawing files and quickly skim over them, I will find that I did draw a character who is called Jatsil. Heck, if I know why he's called that. Or call him the Good Tired Boy. Here, let me load up the picture for you guys to see. That is him. So I did a version with coloring using multiply, and a version coloring, and a version coloring with overlay. Overlay looks much brighter, but multiply looks more moodier. Depends on the background and the environments and stuff. And then I had like these colored stripes on his arms that kinda looks like the German flag, except that they don't. But they kinda do. Anywho, that's a thing. But yeah, that looks pretty good, honey. Quite good. I liked it. I'm not sure if you still like have the files or anything, or if you kept stuff during your work, but you totally and completely could like make a little compilation of the process involved in doing that piece of work and post it over on Coffee as a coffee reward for people, and be like, hey, this is the process I used to do this picture, and then you show what the sketch looked like, how you use the layers, how you did the coloring, and all that jazz. And then make it a Coffee exclusive and say, hey, if you want to see the breakdown, the walkthrough, I guess, of this picture, support me on Coffee. It's a good picture. Go do that. Man, coloring these characters down here in the back, it's gonna be so annoying. Because they're so small. And Marcus says if you look down, it's the German flag, and it is funny and cool too that Oni got the same style in drawing like Doug, or similar, if I may to say that. Oni, you said, well, I am a style adaptation artist. Please explain yourself, Oni, because I cannot fathom what you mean by that. I mean, I could deduce, but I'll leave that one to you. Also, now I was realizing that her hand here looks incredibly small. Her arm, though, looks incredibly small. Her arm should go all the way over there and do something like that. There we go. But Doug, why are you doing stuff like that? Why are you just moving things around instead of actually measuring them with perspective and stuff? Well, let me tell you, my little inquisitive friend, after a few years of doing stuff like this, you kind of start to eyeball things. You don't rely so much on actual calculations and measurements, rather. You just kind of eyeball and feel if that is or not right. So you say, does that hand goes there? Does it actually goes there? Does that feels right, the position I have landed it at? Or doesn't it? Does it? Doesn't it? And then we'll find that maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Who's to say? And Oni says, well, I'm a freehand artist, and Doug gave you lessons like always moving, don't make it look like a sketch, it devalues the work, stop adding a thick and huge chin. I mean, the chin stuff is more like aesthetic, more of a style thing than actually something that ruins your work. Technique wise, it's more of a style thing, but I personally don't like the big chin style. I mean, it can work wonderfully if the rest of your style also is suitable for that, whereas the rest of your character's body and proportions, they didn't really match with the big chin thing. That's why I told you to drop that. Nothing stops you from, going back to doing that, but also studying other styles that also fits that. So if someone teaches you their methods, you can actually do the style just a bit in their like image, if not oddly different but similar. And Marcus says, so you kinda you're kinda like brotist. Maybe. But yeah, only that has a lot to do with, learning art. A lot of it is you going out there and trying stuff out on your own. It kinda always feels odd because you don't know what you're doing, hence why you end up doing so much tracing of works sometimes in your life, because that's one of the ways you can actually learn how to do something. Other ways is to pretty much see someone doing it. Because we do learn a lot by doing stuff. Or even as much by watching someone else do it. So if you actually see someone tutorializing it in a video or just doing it as an example, then you're able to really get in the thick of it and be like, oh, so that's how they do it. That's the way they hold their pencil. That's That's how they keep their line work that thin or that thick or that squiggly or whatever. So watching people work and do what they do is one of the best ways to improve. However, not so many people like recording themselves working and post it up on the internet. Some people don't really mind, but they are not about to go through the effort that it is to record those things, because you know, need to have a good camera, you have to position yourself, you have to do so much stuff. It's kind of annoying. But one thing I do recommend you go and do, Oni, is check out, I have mentioned this a long time ago, it's been quite a while since I last mentioned it, but do go out there and check Mark Crewley's videos on YouTube. He is an amazing illustrator, and he has a lot of tutorial videos on how to do almost anything you can think of. So go out there and check his videos and his style, because he has quite a few things to teach you. Well, to teach everyone, rather. Was, by the way, a big inspiration for me to start doing art videos and stuff. I never did, but if I were to do, he would be the big inspiration to do it all. Too bad that these art videos kind of turn into streams, don't you think? And also, hello there, Dono, stream Dr. Duck. How is it going? How are you doing today in this scorching hot Friday? How's life treating you? How have you been? We over here have been kind of just chilling. We had a long unholy holidays, very controversial too, and things have been being pretty good. How about you though? Tell me all about your duckish week. And Marcus says, Oni, are you doing commissions? And Oni says, yes, I do. I'm taking commissions. And nothing ever hit, but you're still open. But you learn from you, Doggo. But you can also learn from others, too, Oni. But nonetheless, I'm glad you did pay attention to the things I said and actually tried. There's an artsy friend of friend is kind of an exaggeration. There's an artsy colleague of mine, acquaintance, that every now and then he's like, hey Doug, you know stuff, how about this? And then he goes and shows me his arts and stuff, and they are painful to look at. Not because they're bad, but because the lack of improvement is real. You can see that he talks himself up too much sometimes when he doesn't actually have anything to show for it. And you can't help but to think, hey, you are delusional. Go back to the drawing board and work on improving. And I guess he tries, but he doesn't improve. His work always looks kinda eh. It's painful to see, really. So yeah, I have tried many a times to go and talk to him. Hey, I don't like how you're doing this, how you're doing that, and you could improve by doing this and that instead. Then he says, sure thing, and then he goes and ignores completely what I said and does something else entirely. So thank you, Oni, for actually paying attention to what I said and giving it a try. What song is this that is playing right now? Dub Cowboy. It is also the theme I had decided I would use for the previous visual novel game I was talking about. Like in the main menu you would have a theme and it would be this music that I was playing. At first it feels weird, but then the intro goes by and it feels like a theme. America says nothing ever hit, but it's still open. Don't get what you mean that. And Oni said from all the 11 months of watching your comics and illustrations. Oh, that's a lot of months. And Dono, you said, Marcus, that means he isn't perfect or on the spot, but he's trying his best and it's open. And Oni, rather, says it means that nobody commissioned you, but you're still open. Marcus says that's enough for you. See it as a trainer with a customer and you get paid for it. Sounds good, huh? Not really. What Oni meant by that, nothing ever hits but it's still open, is that he only is open for commissions but nobody ends up commissioning him. I'm so sorry for getting quiet. I was doing some stretches. But Doug, why are you doing stretches in the middle of the stream? Well, let me tell you, my little inquisitor friend, I do stretches when my fingers start to go numb. Because the position I'm drawing in, albeit good, it's not that good. Because I draw with my... I have my tablet on the desk in front of my keyboard, but my tablet is kinda like... It's kinda at an angle, so I can draw on it comfortably with my hand. If it was a little bit... If it was standing up a little more, so if it wasn't at a steeper angle, it would be easier for me to see, but it would be worse on my hand, or my wrist rather, to do those not very natural angles. And if it was flatter on the table, it would be much better on my hand, because it would be mimicking paper. One for one, really, but it would be incredibly harder to see what I'm doing. So this is kind of a compromise. It's a midpoint between being able to see and being able to draw in a way that doesn't hurt my hand. But what happens is that because of the angle of the tablet, my hand is kind of above my elbow, which means that the blood flow to my hand is not as good as it could be, which means that after doing this pose for hours, my fingers start to numb up a bit, and then it's a stretch time, which everyone should go and do. Stretching your hands is good for your health, you know. Anywho, Marcus, you're confused now. What about? Like I said, what Oni meant by what he said that never hits but his is still open is that people don't commission him, so the never hits means like it's kind of like an expression for it never works out. People never hit him up inquiring for commissions or something of this sort. And Dono says, Oni, do you do emotes as well? And Oni, you can try to make some emotes. Emotes are a little bit trickier, but sure, they're not impossible to do. The tricky thing with emotes is that they are very small, you see? And you have to do them at even smaller size because what Twitch ends up showing, as it happens, are very small versions of those emotes, which is like 18 by 18 pixels. So I have two choices / possibilities. One is to go do it on the big size and then resize it down, which kind of works best for some things. And the other option, which is something I was doing the other day and then someone was complaining that that's dumb, is do it in pixel art. And then you'll resize it down. And if you were to go and do that, you might as well go and draw in vector. Because resizing pixel art is not that easy. It is doable, but not that easy. Because then resizing things down in pixel art means you have to go redraw the pixel art except at a smaller size, so some pixels will be lost and you have to adapt for that. But resizing it means that you're just using the program, resizing it down to the size you want it to be, and leaving the program do its own calculations and come up with the ideal color per pixel ratio for the resolution you chose. Which sometimes is disastrous, but sometimes work out, depending on what sort of stuff you have done, how many colors are there, and how hard and or easy it is to see from a distance. So it is tricky in the end, but it's not undoable. You could and should give it a try one of these days, Oni, of making emotes for Twitch streamers. Also, no, maybe that's easier for you to go and get. America says it was not talking about emotes. You mean me? What? And Dono says, if you believe it's tricky, then it would be more trickier. Everyone has to start somewhere. You just have to be open to learn, not be afraid to fail and make mistakes, so that you grow in the process. Only I would suggest you try to do what? I would suggest as you still do try many mediums and styles that you can find and make it for yourself first, then you show what you can do, as you could use your Instagram or Twitter as your archive or portfolio. I think your sentence is lacking a few commas in there, but yeah, the sentiment is there. Maybe try and do it for yourself, Oni, and see how that goes. and like try making a few Oni emotes that you can probably use on the Discord channel. Make some Oni emotes. We will throw them there, and then you can use them endlessly. And then you get a feeling for how it feels like to draw an emote. And then you can go and start doing that for others. Also, you might be looking at this and say, "Hey, Doug, didn't you do braids differently last week?" And to which I will say, yes, I did braids very differently last week. Very differently. But that's because I had a sketched braids beforehand, and now I'm just kind of freehanding it, which isn't bad. But you know, it's not good practice. There's a lot of good practices that you shouldn't do, but you do end up doing anyway. And Tiger says, "You can do it, Oni." Donald says, "Douglas, yeah, sorry, my SLI, whatever that is, kicks in when it comes to grammar and perfection in the English language." What does SLI stands for, Donald? I don't know what that is. And Oni says, "I can do task ones." And Donald says, "By the way, Oni, you could make some of your own emotes, and you can actually use your Discord and upload as a test platform." Yeah, that's true. Because I think some emotes are roughly the same size on Discord, so it's a good test. I mean, they're not the same size, but if it shows good on Discord, it will probably show good on Twitch. Also, originally this page here, this is completely irrelevant and nobody will care about this, but originally this page, this panel here and this second pen, this last panel here, it was something else entirely. It was just like the previous panel but expanded. I had two of that going on. I said, you know what, I want to go and draw two panels. Of the same thing. So I decided to go and pick up still a panel from the next page and put it in there. So now I have so now for the next page, that panel won't be there anymore, so I'll have to find some way to kind of replace that. Oni says, "Oh my dog, you guys are so supportive, it gives you 10% anxiety." But in a good way. What do you mean, Oni? I would expect that no anxiety is good anxiety, but who knows? Don't know, you said SLI means a specific language impairment. Would recommend you Google it up, Douglas, if you want to know more about it. I totally will, if I do remember that. Chances are I won't, but if I do, I will Google that up and see what's up with that. But I can deduce from the name, possibly wrong, but I think I can deduce that specific language impairment means that when speaking on a foreign language, or a specific language in the case, your mind gets boggled up and bamboozled about some grammar rules and stuff, so it's trickier for you to remember accents, rules, grammar, and other stuff. Is that so? And then it says, even though I have autocorrect to a low tolerance setting, it still correct in to I'm. Whoop. Autocorrect will do that to you. So you know, the best thing you can truly actually do is always double check whenever you're typing something. Type the thing out, make sure that the autocorrect haven't changed it to something weird, and then get it going. Because most time when people do have autocorrect turned on, it helps. When you typed in things jumbled up or misspelled. But a lot of times a lot of people tend to type and hit the send key too fast, and they don't check up what they have just written down. So it's best to go and do that on it. Start doing that. Checking what you have just written, that's all, before sending. And then autocorrect will stop being such a problem. Possibly. Who knows even. Anyway, I forgot to ask, but hey there, Tiger. You meowed one. What was that for? Are you bark? Are you at work now, watching us from your cozy desk, amongst your colleagues and work peers? How's it going over there? Well, Dono says, let me find a broken down term for it. Hold on. Specific language impairment, SLI, is a diagnosis when a child has delayed or disordered language development for no apparent reason. Usually the first indication of SLI is that the child is later than usual in starting to speak and subsequently is delayed in putting words together to form sentences. Spoken language may be immature. In many children with SLI, understanding of language or receptive language is also impaired, though this may not be obvious unless the child is given a formal S. Well then. I would argue against Wikipedia on giving kids formal S's, but sure. Only says I type it correctly, Doug. Oh, really? Well, then yeah. Autocorrect is a bitch sometimes. But anywho. Donald says I will break this down, so don't bother. I click Ctrl V accidentally. And then it says it's when I hit send that your autocorrect just goes, whoa. What's wrong? Let me change it quickly when you hit enter. And there was a case I typed because 18 times. Wow, really? That sucks. Maybe you shouldn't have an iPhone only. Maybe you should, you know, buy an Android or a Windows phone or whatever else. Anywho, hello there, Wolfrain90. I kinda wonder now if 90 is like the year you were born, or if there's 89 other Wolfrains out there. Nonetheless, hello and welcome to the stream. How's it going, Wolf? How are you doing in this ridiculously warm Friday, for me at least? Hopefully you're having a not as warm Friday, temperature wise. Having a chill one. And Donald says assessment. A wolf would rather have an ass than an assessment. Yeah, but you can't give that to kids. You can't give kids asses. You gotta give them assessments. Or assassins. Or what other words that starts with S? Give kids asparagus. There you go. They love it. And Wolf said there's 89 other Wolfrains, but I don't think they stream on Twitch. I wonder, what do they do then? Because, you know, when I came here over on Twitch and over on other sites to go and create an account, I'm not very creative with names, so I just decided, you know what am I gonna call my account? Maybe I'll call it Douglas Kim, which is my name. Why not? And then I went and did, and put in Douglas Kim. And what do they say? They say, oh no, that name is already being used. And then I say, oh no, how could someone go and pilfer this name from right under my nose? Whatever will I do? So the first thing I do is actually go and think up another name, which end up being Douglas-Kim or Douglas_Kim, or Douglas Kim S, and an N, which makes it feel like there's a plural me, but it's actually the initial of my last name. But the second thing I also do is go and check out who the heck is this other Douglas Kim that came here before I did. And I end up discovering a whole lot of things about a whole lot of people. So I found out I can't get the domain douglaskim.com because apparently there's a poker player called Douglas Kim, and that's it. He already got the domain, so I had to get Douglas-Kim. On Twitter there's also a Douglas Kim going on with like 5 to 10 tweets, and probably abandoned his or her, hardly her, but they abandoned their Twitter for ages ago, and what do you know, I can't get the name. I have to stick with Douglas Kim's. And I don't remember where else, but there was another site I tried to create an account and they already had Douglas Kim going on, and it was like, what, really, how? And then I got sad. But I wonder what are all these other Douglas Kims doing with their lives? The heck are they? So I imagine what the other 89 Wolfrains are doing. I wonder if one of them is a professional poker player as well. Which kinda sucks too in a way. I guess that nowadays if you Google up Douglas Kim, I am like the second result you get. For a long time, the first result you would get used to be the poker player Douglas Kim. Now, through hard work and a lot of you know, stubbornness and keeping of the trying, I now am possibly the second Google result when you go up Douglas Kim. I think. Nonetheless. Donald says, either case, have a great stream, gotta go. Oh, my dog. Going already. Sure thing, Donald. Thanks for stopping by and giving me a very formal explanation of what is an SLI, and for pip talking only into doing emotes. And Oni says kids are biohazard time bombs. That they are. Wolf says, see you later, Dono, and you just put the 90 there cause Wolfrain was taken on multiple platforms. Kinda regret it, but whatever, use it everywhere now. Wolfrain thing, probably. Wolfrain things, probably. And OMG, Douglas, why did you make you Google your name? There is a league account under that name. Really? There is quite a lot of shame in having a league account, I guess. But why do you disagree with there being a League of Legends account on your with a name like yours, Wolf? Also, that's the thing I'm curious about, but I'll probably never truly find out. Is what are people's real names? I like learning names, just because it's fun. And I wonder what are your name and what is everyone else's names. But in some ways, I guess I will never know. Some people are very secretive about, you know, IRL information like that. I, on the other hand, am like so super basic that I don't even came up with a what's it called, a moniker. I just use my own name, and it has worked. That's fine. The Wolf says you're allowed to know if you really want. Yeah, you better believe I do. Like I said, and I like knowing people's names, especially dog them, especially because you guys are, you know, you're not from the same country as I am. You're not from the same city as I am. So I wonder if we're gonna have like a normal English name like John or Peter or Scott, or if we're gonna have a weird, well, not weird, but uncommon like local name, such as, I don't remember. 104 was talking about like popular Swedish names one day, and I think one of them, like, there was like a name I had never heard before. I don't remember what it was. Wasn't like weird. Just was like, how have I never heard that name before? But anywho, Oni says I'm scared of Doug because he can get mad and use my real name like a Mexican parent would. I would never, Oni. And when I do it is in a lovingly manner. Wolf says only if you don't actually address you as such. I will not. One thing I have learned over the years is that you address people in the way that they introduce themselves to you. That is the respectful way of you know, existing in today's society. If someone Someone introduces themselves to you as Lord Puffington, and then you end up discovering that their name is John. You're not gonna call them John, you're gonna call them Lord Puffington, because that's what they asked you to call them as. Although I kinda do that, every now and then there's this acquaintance who over the years was like, I don't like my name. And I was like, why? And it's because he's a junior, so he has the same name as his father, and like, I don't like my name because it's my father's name and stuff. And throughout the years I kept calling him his real name, not so much to annoy him, slightly to annoy him, but also to get him used to being called his name, because god damn it. I don't know if it worked. Over the years I stopped, but anyway. Wolf, you said some of your friends call your real name on purpose to annoy you. Anyway, your real name is Mark. Oh, cool. That is a common name. I mean, common as in worldwide. Nonetheless, it's a cool name. And speaking of names, what are the more common and the uncommon names over there in your place of residence slash living slash what else is it called? In your habitat. Over there in your country, what are people normally called? And what are people not normally called? Over here there's a lot of common names, but the coolest names are the names that are like English names that either parents don't know how to spell, or they spell in a well, they spell it in like in a Portuguese like way, so they drop some vowels and consonants and they add others, they change some, so the name feels a little bit more Latin than it originally was. So a more or less common name out there in the rest of the world, well, not so much, but a common-ish name is like Wesley, for example. And spell that with a W. Spell Wesley with a W. Here in Brazil, there's a lot of people who are called Wesleys, but with an U instead of a W. So there you go. And also, Brutal Ghost 26th, or 26 rather. Hello there, and welcome to the stream, and thank you so very much for that delicious canine follow. Welcome to our pack. How is it going with you? In this scorching hot Friday, unless you live in the Northern Hemisphere, where it is possibly a bone-chilling cold Friday. How are you doing? Hope you like it here. Anonymous says, so Doug, how did Necuus's Necuusy feel? I would not know. Why do you want to know? Are you aching for that Necuusy truth? Yourself, Oni? Yeah, got me asking questions. Questions that shouldn't be asked. Anywho. And Wolf says, let's think uncommon Dutch names. Dan with 2 A's, Dirks, Bas, Cohen, Hendrick's not that uncommon, just weirdly spelled, and Joris. Let's have you pronounce those. Another fun Dutch name is Floor. Really? Oh boy. Also, Cohen. Isn't that like a racing tires brand? Feels like it is. Or am I thinking of Koenigen? It might be. Well, never mind then. And Oni says, "Oh my god, new follower. Thanks, Bruto, for the follow." Yes, thank you, Bruto, for the follow and for the being here and for the lurk apparently, because they're gonna be eating. And you said good. So what I'm gonna assume is your answer to me asking how you're doing. And this hot and or cold Friday that you're probably currently experiencing. And then it says, sounds unique, I like it. And you also said Kumo, Doug, that's the tire name. Yeah. Koenigen. I think that's the tire brand name. Whereas Cohen, well, yeah, Cohen. That's a very unique name. But it also sounds cool. Has a cool sound to it. I'm trying to think if it's those sorts of names that, you know, because of the way the language work, they picked up a different. They picked up like a foreign name and introduced it to their language and their variances in speech and pattern, grammar and other stuff. I made it their own. Kinda like John is, you know, an English name, but the German equivalent of John is like Hans. I wonder if like Cohen is the Dutch equivalent of some other name, like Cohen, like Conan. Maybe Conan or Connor. Maybe the Dutch don't have Conans and Connors, or didn't used to. They decided, you know what, they're gonna be Cohen. Or however you say that specific sentence in Dutch. You know what, you're gonna be Cohen. Who knows? Cohen. Maybe it could be something also like Carl. Instead of having Carl, they have Cohen. Don't know how fond the Dutch are of hard R sounds in their sentences and names. Hard to say. And Naku says, where's Naku from before yesterday? He's such a cool addition to your stream. The Naku from Wednesday stream, he said to me, very quietly, he came up close to me, whispered in my ears, and said, Doug, you're the real scrub. I'm out of here. I don't want to be exposed to scrubness such as yours. And then he left, and then he, like, instantly, he just said, fuck it, and he had me drive him to the airport, took a big-ass plane, and flew hours into the distance, and then he arrived at his homeland, and then he went back to his computer, to which he sat down. The first thing he did was open up Twitter and then complain all over the place about how I am a scrub. I think. I might be remembering wrong the events of the day, because you know, I don't have the best memory ever for certain things. I might be mistaking a few things here and there, but I think that's what happened. Nonetheless, welcome to the stream, Nekiroy. How are you doing today? In this delicious day of the fry. Also known as Friday. A wolf says, yeah, bring Nekio back or riot. Don't riot. Nekio is not coming back. Because he thinks I'm too much of a scrub to play games with him. So I guess I won't be playing games with him anymore. I'll be playing them on my own. Besides, if I were to bring him back and play games with him, I would need to, you know, go out of my way and fix up a second microphone that I could attach to my computer, because I was going back through the recording of the stream, the Wednesday stream, and a lot of moments I could hardly understand what I was saying and what Nekio was saying because we were kinda far away from the microphone. Except for some moments when I spoke up higher, he spoke up higher, or when I had my face like 2 fingers length. Well, not actually, finger length, what kind of measure is that? When I had my face pretty much glued to the microphone. That's the only times I could actually understand what was going on and what was being said. Most of the time I was confused, bamboozled, and the game sounds were too loud. I don't know what's up with Enter the Gungeon, but whoever did the sound mixing for that game is like, fuck everything else. Why would you want to hear anything else if you have our game? So, the game is loud? I don't know why, but it is. But anyway. There you go. Also, nonetheless, I hope you had fun and enjoyed streaming with me, Nekiroy. And I hope also that you, that you had, well, not only that you had fun, but that you were able to overcome a little bit the shyness of going out speaking English in front of a screen without truly knowing if there's someone there on the other side hearing to you or not. Because that's the weird part of streaming. Because whenever if you're streaming and then you see someone pop up in the chat and say something, be it in Portuguese or English, you're gonna answer because you know you just saw the person leave the comment there, so you know, there's something out there and they want to reach out to me, so let's answer them. But when you don't know for sure if there is or isn't someone out there watching you, and you have to spend like half an hour talking to yourself, it's kinda trickier to do. So I hope you were able to overcome that a little bit, Nekio. Because I know I haven't. I still don't. I never will. I'll always skip being awkward when speaking to the microphone. For the possible void or possible listeners that are there. And Onya says, Nekio, how did Doug warm hands feel on your neck, you see? And Ben says, need coffee, be right back. Sure thing, Ben. Also, good to know you were still there. And Nekio says that is actually what happened. And only amazing, everyone should feel Doug's warm hands. And Nekio, you did rest a lot and you are fine. Ah, that's good to hear. And even though we were far, it sounded pretty good. Yeah, it did. It wasn't like, you know, top quality, loud AF voice that is understandable even for people that don't even understand English. It was still good enough. It was understandable. It was entertainment. And rule of thumb is, if there's any entertainment to be had, you're probably doing something good. Or something along the lines. I don't remember how that saying go, but whatever. It was fun. We had fun, and fun was had, and fun was shared. I think. Anywho, Wolf, you said, yeah, it sounded good. The game needed to be a bit more quiet though. Yeah, I don't know why Enter the Gungeon is so loud. It's almost like the people that made this game spent a lot of time working on the sounds and everything else and wanted you to feel immersed, and because of that they cranked up the audio to 100 and made the game loud AF. Who knows? And Ben says, Doug, I am back and I have coffee. I got to ask Doug and everyone else, how do you like your coffee and or tea? We could ask 104, but he isn't here. He is the only one here that I know for sure drinks tea every day, with every meal and stuff, but he's not. So about coffee, your question was, how do you like your coffee? Boy, I do like my coffee fancy. That's even the term. I like you know, a moccasin coffee, which is pretty much coffee, chocolate, and a little bit of milk, and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of sugar. Because you know, it feels like you're having morning coffee, but also that you're having sweet ass chocolate going on with it, but it's not like chocolatey as much. It's good, it's fun. I like having mochas. But that is what I would like. That is not the reality though. The reality is that I drink my coffee black without sugar. Because like I keep saying, sugar is bad for your health. In the long run. So I have stopped drinking coffee with sugar, so now I just drink black coffee. And because I'm a monster, I also drink an entire cup of coffee. I like, by a cup I mean a mug. I wish I could give you like precise numbers on how much coffee holds, but I can't. But something around like 350 milliliters of coffee, I think. Sounds about right-ish. Yeah, sure, why not? 300 milliliters of coffee. That's how much coffee I normally drink per day. Sometimes I even go a bit over the top and have like 2 cups of coffee, 2 mugs, so that's more than half a liter of coffee. And that is enough to give me a heart attack in the long run, but who even cares? Nonetheless, Leo says, hail to you too, Leo. How's it going? How are you doing in this lovely, majestic Friday? Welcome to the stream, by the way. It's been a while since we last saw you. Tell me all about you and your life and your situation and your being. How's it going? And Ben says black and without sugar is what you do if the coffee is good, otherwise you have cream and sugar. What do you mean if the coffee is good? Do you mean like if the coffee is or isn't too strong, or if it's like recently made? Or do you mean like there's actually brands of coffee you're not a huge fan of? Because I kinda stopped caring. Whatever coffee comes my way, I drink it black. Except, you know, if the coffee is... Yeah, I guess.
Where's my favorite guest streamer Doug? Where's Mr. Window whistling at me?
Mr. Window whistling. The whistling window was here the other day. It isn't here today because, you know, it's not a windy day today. Thanks for the bits, by the way, Oni. You know how much I missed those bits. Gotta love them. Gotta have them. Haven't been having them quite often though, so that's a shame. But anyway, anywho. Tiger says, yeah, honey doesn't sweeten as much but mellows some of the bitterness. Oh my dog. If only. I bought honey, but I guess it was bad quality honey or made from weird flowers, or the bees were not feeling that much into making honey into their little... They didn't like the idea of being enslaved into this honey making business forever. So the honey doesn't taste that good. It's kinda eh. I don't like it as much as other honeys I have tasted. Maybe that's what I get for like buying like a little pot of honey that costs like less than $1. But anyway, Marcus, you have to go now. Wish you a good stream and have fun. Oh, bye. Oh, my dog. Sure thing, Marcus. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for resubbing, and I'll be seeing you later. Have a good day and do great things with yourself. Leo says I leave, therefore I think, therefore I get headaches. Oh no, poor Leo. Don't get the headaches. They're bad for you. And also, hello there, Spike here. Wolf morning, or Wolf afternoon. It's afternoon even for me now. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? How are you doing in this lovely ass Friday that we're having? And you said things. You said, Doug, I have a question about drawing tablets again. They use a screen protector, quote unquote, or in parentheses, film, to protect against scratches from the pen. I wish I had when I began. I don't though, because my dog, I spent like 6-ish thousand Brazilian reais buying this tablet that I use nowadays, and after that I had very little money to even buy food, so no, I didn't have money to buy a film. But in the long run I found out things. I don't know if it's like a thing with this tablet per se, or if it's a thing with the conditions in which I used it, but there's like this area in the middle of my tablet that is like scratched out. It's not good looking, by the way. It feels a little different as well, this area that's scratched out in the middle. I kinda got used to it though, but it doesn't look good, and it might be bad in the long run. It might like have done some damage that is problematic and gonna cause problems in the future. I tried looking up online, and what I have found out about this tablet is that it's actually a screen made of glass, and on top of this glass the tablet comes by default with a plastic film to protect the glass from, you know, cracking and stuff. Or if it does crack, it doesn't like splinters off and fall off. So it gets protected there by this plastic pellicule. But I think that maybe I have used some cleaning products that may have been too abrasive, or it's because, you know, this is a graphic display, so it is pretty much a monitor, and as a monitor it heats up, and because it heats up and my hot hand is on top of it every day, it kind of heats up even further. So when I scratch, and I'm not a gentle drawer anyway, I kind of do some heavy scratching every now and then. When I do scratches and strokes on the screen, especially with the razor, it might have wore away this plastic pellicule faster because of the heat and the abrasive products and everything else. Or it's actually a thing that happens with this sort of tablet that I didn't know before I bought it, and used it for like 3 years now. I think I bought it like in 2015, so yeah, no, more than 4 years now I have had this tablet. So yeah, I don't have or use a film, but I would recommend one. Especially if it's replaceable, it's probably gonna, you know, make your tablet life be longer, which is good.
Bork, 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 bork.
Oh my dog, the song of your people. Thank you so much for singing it to me, Oni. Also, what's up? Why the sudden borking? What is going on? So all of these layers are backgrounds, and I guess I'll have to deal with one at a time. Possibly gonna start with the middle one because it kind of goes into there. So the middle one is this. Let's now make the fucking damn it. Make the sketch layer less opaque. That's so I can focus on doing this. Let's delete it all and start drawing again. And Leo says, Poroni, I don't have a headache currently. What is a gentle drawer, Doug? Like when you're drawing, you're pretty much, well, physically, theoretically, and practically speaking, you are rubbing your drawing tool onto a sheet of paper or into whatever, and that rubbing is doing is taking out whatever your drawing tool is made of and depositing that stuff into the paper. So if you're drawing with a pencil, you're depositing graphite on the paper. And what happens is that if graphite it gets powdery really easily, but it's a hard substance on itself. So if you press really hard, you can like damage the paper. So as an artist, one of the many things you do end up learning is how to draw gently, not applying too much. Wait, what? Oh, there we go. Not to apply too much pressure into the drawing. Wait, no, what the hell? God damn it! You learn not to apply too much pressure to the drawing. You learn to keep your touch like soft, because it helps with so many other things. I, however, do not have that. I'm not a gentle drawer, and I don't have that much control over my hand and over my brush strokes. Which doesn't mean I'm a complete ogre when I'm drawing. I do have some sort of... what? Oh no. I do have some sort of control over how I'm drawing, but it's still very iffy. I do end up putting in more pressure than I need a lot of time when drawing. On the computer, that's not that much of a problem because you can always go back and adjust like pressure sensitivities. And on Clip Studio, you can fiddle with your brushes configurations. So even big high levels of pressure will still yield a very thin line. You can fiddle with those settings. But what the hell is going? Oh, that's why. I'm a dumb doggo. What do you know? This is not the right layer that I should be referencing. This is the one. There we go. So yeah, I'm not a gentle drawer, as in I do apply too much pressure when drawing, which means tools and papers and stuff are more prone to wear down when I am the one using them. And on paper, that means I'm more prone to damaging the paper and breaking the tools that I'm using. And on computer, it means I'm more prone to damaging my graphic tablet and whatnot. Theoretically as well, these graphic tablets, they come with like replaceable pen nibs that you can change whenever you want. But I never did replace them though, because the idea is that they wear out so much that the tip isn't usable anymore, or something. I don't know. I never had to change them, so I wonder if that's something I should have done. That they don't become like completely useless, they just become more damaging. to use on your tablet, because as you keep using those pen nibs, they go developing a pointy end instead of a round end, and that pointy end is what helps to scratch your tablet more. I don't know. I just got this thing and started using it. Not like I read a whole lot of documents and manuals on how to do it. But anywho, thanks for the bits, Oni. And Spiker says, yeah, it's what I'm afraid of. So I'm looking for a scratch guard, not having too much luck though. Really? I thought finding those plastic films for your graphic display wasn't that hard. I mean, I think if you do look up on Amazon, you will find them. I think I have seen them on Amazon beforehand. But if that doesn't work, I think you can also look up those protective films for like an Apple iPad. I think that they work. They're not as big as your tablet probably, but if they are, they should work. Go there, buy one of those suckers and put it in there. Or have someone do it for you, I don't know. But because, you know, those protective films for other things such as actual handheld tablets, they are made thinking that, hey, someone is gonna be putting their hands over this all day long, and it's gonna protect against wear and tear and stuff. But knowing that, you know, those tablets nowadays, they have the capability of, you know, you buying a pen that works with it. I think they are also thinking about that, like, hey, someone might use a pen with this thing. Let's make a protective film that also guards against pen scratches. If you don't luck out with finding an iPad protective film, because, you know, iPads are overpriced and so is everything iPad related, maybe look for the Surface, the Microsoft Surface protective film, because I think the Surface is roughly the same size of a small tablet, and it should work just fine. Otherwise, you can always look also for a straight up Cintiq protective film, buy a larger size, paste it down, then cut off the remainder. Or you can just be like YOLO and risk it out and use your tablet without the protective film. Because I mean, I have been using mine without it, and I can say that it doesn't look good, but I haven't seen any performance drop. It's still working pretty good. This kind of scratched out part in the middle, it felt weird at first when I started feeling the plastic coming off, but now it doesn't bother me anymore.
Or you can change your pen settings to be heavy, cause if you set that setting, even the slightest press, the tablet will read it as a full press.
Oh, you can do that, what Oni suggested. I personally don't like too... I mean, like I said, I'm not a gentle drawer, so settings like that, they will get me frustrated, because I will want to do a very thin line and then I will end up pressing too much, and I will never get a thin line going on because I am too heavy-handed when drawing and doing stuff. All stuff. So that doesn't work for me, but it might work for you, Spiker. I don't know how heavy-handed you are when doing that sort of stuff. Or maybe you're gonna have more luck than I. And Tiger says, Doug is not gentle, is what he said. Kinda. Leo says, I'll ask Doug, what else aren't you gentle doing? Brushing my teeth. I ruined my teeth brush in like weeks. And Spiker says, yeah, ordered one for a MacBook 13 and one third of an inch. Weirdly enough, thing doesn't fit because apparently a MacBook 13 and 1/3 of an inch is not 13 and 1/3 of an inch. Really? Really? How big is it then? And Ben says, I have an iPad and have drawn a few things on it. It was really cool and would recommend if you have the money, of course. And I mean, yeah, if for whatever reason you have like way too much money to buy stuff instead of, you know, buying specialized tools, then sure, you can go for an iPad. But on Spiker's case, I think the tablet you got, the Huion Canvas, I think that's the name, Huion Canvas. It's just a graphic display with pen-enabled capabilities, or whatever is the term for that. Because this tablet that I have, like I said, I bought it like 4 years ago, and 4 years ago the Huion canvases weren't a thing, which sucked quite a lot. So I ended up paying quite a lot of money for this. But on the what? Wait, what? Wait. Oh, okay, that's right. I ended up paying a lot of money for this. But on the bright side, I got this tablet that has like pen capabilities, but also has touch capabilities. So if I need to like rotate the picture around, I can just use my fingers to rotate or to zoom in and out. I do still end up using like keyboard shortcuts, but a lot of times I do just do these little spins with my fingers, the rotating, which is kind of cool. But I don't use the touch for anything else really, so it's kind of useless-ish. It has its uses, but I don't use uses which it was designed to have. I wonder which one is yours, because that is totally a thing. If you keep, like I said the other day with the glove thing, your hand has all sorts of liquids and oils and whatnot, and if you keep smearing those oils on the screen, the wear and tear is gonna happen much faster. So if you bought a thing with touch capabilities, it might help it degrade faster. Just a heads up. But still, I'm still very curious to see what you come up with art-wise, Spiker. And not only that, but that begs the question, art stream when? Because I think in the past you said once like, I'm gonna do art stream. I think you said you were thinking about doing an art stream in the future, but I don't think I have ever seen that. And if I have, dog damn, I curse the heavens for having missed it. But now we have less of an excuse. I have to do more frequent art streams there. Art streams which I will want to see. So another thing here is like, for these lines that I'm doing, like I say, I'm heavy-handed, so making thin lines is harder. So one thing that helps is changing the size of the brush. So I don't have to change the amount of pressure I'm putting into the pen. I can just change the brush size, and that takes care of half the problem. but that's the thing that kind of takes out a little productivity, because you're, instead of just focusing on doing art, now you're focusing on also changing tool settings on the fly, and that is a skill that comes with time, being able to do that kind of mindlessly. As you can see, drawing is more complicated than just putting lines on paper. And also Toning Jinka _ hello there, welcome to the stream, and thank you so very much for that follow. How are you doing in this lovely day of the Fry? Hopefully you're doing good, and also sorry for taking too long to welcome you into the channel. I was distracted by drawing this square bed with a canopy. How are you doing today? Leo says, "Your lion is so lucky, dog." And 104 says, "Hello, I'm back, the guy that Doug called pesky earlier." You're not pesky. And you have done the groceries. They have been very done. Really, how done have been done? And Spiker says, "I don't think your has touch. It's pretty cheap." Well, it might be good in the long run to not have touch. It would be good to have touch, but eh. It's not like it's impossible to handle it without it. An art stream as soon as you have practiced a little with the tablet. Well, time to go in and put up all those practice time then. Because you better dog than believe it that we will want to see those art streams of yours. And see what sort of stuff you come up with. Also, this is a thing I kinda cheesed with the previous page. Since I have the time, I'm just gonna go and show that to you guys. Because I mean, what the hell is the point of cheesing if you can even share your cheesiness with your friends? Might as well do that. Okay, so if you're ready for the cheese, let me show it to you. This is the previous page. Last week's page. Art-wise, let me show you guys a few things here and there. There's line art that can stay, that's characters as colors that can stay. This is the shading for the background that can go, we don't need that. This is the color for the background, this is the color. This is the background with the shading. Anywho. That can go, we don't need that. Oh, this is the important part. So what is the background here? It's a lot of layers to begin with. So I have gone and made a sketch of the background. So this is the actual background sketch, but then I drew those cloths over some things. So then I made a copy of that layer and erased the part underneath the cloth, and there we go. So the way I draw my backgrounds, well, I sketch them out, is that I have this brush that is like the actual drawing brush, and then I have the marker brush, which has less opacity, which is great for doing like measurements and things. So you're gonna see a lot of crosses going on all over the place. Those are measurements I do on the fly to make sure things are, you know, in proportion and measured correctly. So there you go. I made a lot of drawings here and there, but these would need a cleanup to be usable, and doing cleanups takes quite a while. So what I do is I put on a white layer underneath the background, and then I go and enable this little setting here that is a little level adjustment. What it does is whatever is in absolutely black anything that is less than black, like 100% black, this filter, it just takes it out of the picture. So when I turn that on, everything that isn't black just vanishes. So you can see that everything is gone. But also, so is the softness of the lines. Without this, you can see that the line has some softness in the corners. With this, you can see that softness is gone and it gets a little bit more rugged and sharp. But it also saves me time from doing the cleaning up. Also, thinner lines, they also suffer a little bit from that. But anyway, this saves me up time doing the cleanup of the backgrounds, and then since it's a white layer that I have on the back, I can simply throw in color on top of that and everything is good to go. Not that much to worry about. So this is how I normally do backgrounds, because cleaning up takes forever, and doing this little trick that I learned doing another previous page, it saves us so much time. In here though, I didn't do that. I didn't do a little background sketch, so I'm having to go and do it by hand now. But if I had done it beforehand, I could have, as again, gone and cheesed it, and by cheesing it, I would have saved up a lot of time right now. I decided to be a honorable boy and stopped with cheese, but what do you know? Cheesing is the way to go. So you young artists out there, don't save up on the cheese. If you see a chance, an opportunity to cheese my dog, cheese it. Your future self will thank you after you have gone and done the cheese. Anywho, you guys have been saying things. Let's see what you guys have been saying. One says like ultra done. Wow, you have done your groceries so much. And Leo says again, I say how lucky they are, those fruits. And Oni says one has been ultra done with your shit. And 104 says they are the luckiest. And Doug, if I'm not pesky, then why would you say such a thing about me? Also, be right back, getting tea. I say things about people because I mindlessly say them. Doesn't mean that I feel them or that I actually think that. I just say things mindlessly because I don't know. I just do. And I hope that didn't offend you in any way. Because if it did, well then. Oni says, cheesify me, Daddy Doug. You be heavy-handed with you, Leo. And Oni says, Nekio says, Oni, let's go on a date. And Oni says, but wait, Doug. What did you two marry you midstream and you said, no, Oni is a good boy scrub and I want you to be single. And Nekio says, I just was flattered and nervous. Also, date may also mean going out and having fun only. Oh, true. And also, hello there, Pink Slushes. Wolf Morning, welcome to the stream. How's it going? And Leo says dirty laundry isn't always unhot. So you see, when you look at me, what you see is a dog that is completely bamboozled because I have no idea what you're talking about, Leo. And Tiger, thanks for the thumbs up. I don't know what you were thumbsing up, but thanks for it nonetheless. Hopefully the cheese. The more people approve of the cheese, the better the cheese market will be in the future. So, past Doug decided it would be cool to go and have a bed that has all this fancy shenanigans going on. And you know, present Doug is like, why? That adds in nothing. And that is completely horrible to do. So once again, present Doug is having to do with past Doug's is bullshit. And I mean, like, what does this even do? It adds nothing to the overall bad thing, to the backgrounds. It's like just mindless details that people that are reading this comic will never even notice this. Why am I doing this? Well, let me tell you, my little... What is the term I'm looking for? Let me tell you, my little disheartened Doug, you're putting in the extra work on this because you want to improve your art and have it be cool and have meaning and generally look better than, you know, default art you find online. And the only way to really improve is to put in little details on things. But if you could improve the overall look of the panel, that makes some, you know, the backgrounds more interesting. Which is like such a huge advance when you think about it. Back then I used to be all against backgrounds and be like, no, not the backgrounds. Those dog darn backgrounds, big on with thee. Now I'm like, nobody's gonna realize them anyway, but here am I, doing backgrounds, doing measures, taking perspectives and whatnot. Things I never thought I'd do, and yet here am I. I also got like really interested in trying out doing background with perspectives that much more, because I saw this guy, this artist, Ness King, who he actually works for Blizzard, I think, doing a lot of sketches, pretty much pin-ups of characters, and he always does these with these pin-ups with a little perspective deal going on. It always looks amazingly cool. You don't not believe me just by saying that, but believe me, he does things with this amazing perspective. And it made me think like, wow, maybe I could try and learn a thing or two about perspectives to be able to get it going like he does. And I started to learn perspective, and lo and behold, here am I. I mean, I actually knew how to do perspectives, I just wasn't a big fan of doing them because they take forever to do. Because when you're a wee, eager young artist, the last thing you want to do is spend time taking measurements of things to get the background going. You just want to, you know, illustrate the thing you're here to illustrate, which is normally the characters and some cool scenes and setups. Don't want to waste your time doing backgrounds, but here we are doing them. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go over on Twitter, type in Nesskin, Neskkain. Start to get delighted by the amount of work that guy has and the quality it has to boot. And then feel your jaw drop and be like, wow, that's a person who knows how to draw. Oni says, should I date the scrub? Leo says, some smell great. The dirty laundry. And Oni says, or be a scrub and don't date Nekio. What the hell? Why would you go and mod a message like that? Twitter Twitch thing? Anywho, or be a scrub and don't date Neku. And Neku says, out on a date only, then we will see if we date later, quote unquote. Kun says cheese, and Oni says, well, would you let me stick my head out the window? Would you, Neku? And Leo says, nope, that leads to Drew drying and the next door down on you. What? What are you even talking about, Leo? And then he says, I feel like if I go to Doug's place feel like my brain would play the artist's house from Pikuniku. Man, I guess I must be onto something because I can't understand what anyone is saying. And Spiker says, found the scratch guard on Amazon Germany of all places. Amazon Germany. Do they have different things on different Amazons? I thought like the Amazon.com and that's it. Had like everything. Well, go figure. You ordered the Cintiq 13 one like you suggested. You mean the Cintiq 13 film? Protective film? Or you mean the tablet itself? I mean, of course, I wouldn't get the tablet because I already have one. But anyway, that sentence is ambiguous enough that I feel like I should go and ask. One of us says, "Did Douglas faint?" No, I was talking to my boyfriend, deciding what to order for lunch because I am hungry and it's almost lunchtime. And Kun says more stretches. Not the same. We only need like one stretch session per stream. Normally when your fingers start to go numb. Asparka says, yeah, the film, same size as your tablet. I should have bought one for myself. A long time ago I should have. Because now, I guess that a film won't do much. Like, what will a film do for a screen that's already scratched like hell? By the way, I will take a photo of my tablet screen and post it on Discord later so you guys can see the damage I have done to it over the past 4 years. So you can get an idea of how it looks like if you have a tablet and you don't put a protective film over it. Because it gets nasty. It gets really nasty. Nasty as in boy, I should have taken better care of that piece of expensive hardware I bought. But anyway, this is how much I have managed to draw today for this comic book page. As you can see, the last frame background isn't anything absurd, so I'm not gonna go into details on that. The first and second panel background is pretty much the same thing, so more of the same, I guess. Also, what the heck here? Oh, what do you know? They are inversed. And before I end the stream, I just wanna, let you guys know what is going on in this comic book page here, so you guys get some context. So in the previous page we had these two delicious, lovely characters, also let me throw in all the the shade, the background noir thing, and the god rays through the window. Shenanigans. So I had this big panel here, which we can see like two characters there, kind of doing stuff, and then they're kissing and nibbling and whatever dogs do. And then they had like a couple lines of text, and then they started to kiss, and there was a door in the background that isn't showing. Why isn't it showing? Should be showing. God damn it! There was a door in the background. Haha. And the door in the background was like creaking open, slowly and gently, but surely. It was opening up, and that was the end of the page. Next page, which is today's page, we have this courtesan enter the room and be like, "What the hell are you doing? Is there is there a person by this name over here?" And then they said, "Hey, don't interrupt us. We're having a good time." And then she goes away and says, "Okay, fine. I'll tell that to her brother." And then he goes like, "What the hell? Her brother is here? Shit, I better bail." And then he starts to rush and pick up his things, and then he's about to jump out the window, being like, "Oh, I'm out of here. Maybe we'll see each other later today." And she's like, "Why?" Or some more interesting text that I'm gonna put over on the finished page. But now you have some context. Now you know what to expect for later today when I post this page on Patreon, and the page 14, I guess, on all the other sites. So, surprises, surprises. Go check out my comic on all the sites that you can find down below, and go support me on Patreon, and on Twitch, and on Ko-fi, on all the places. Give me money, I need it. Do it. Anywho, Oni, you said that this is the song that in your head that plays. The song in your head that plays is this one. I will check it out, but not right now. I'll check it out later. Oh, the Artist House music. Oh my dog, the song is so lovely. You know what? I'm gonna make this the outro as we go away into nothingness. So, what does that mean? It means that this stream is over, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream where I lengthily, if that is even a word, worked on today's comic book page. I finished the sketch, I did the line art, now I'm gonna do the background, train some colors, puff up those colors with some shades, and then post it on them sites, Patreon included, so go check it out and support me. Also, once again, I'm sorry for not streaming so much this week. Like I said, there was unholy holidays going on and I took them to rest, and also I had visitors coming by, so streaming was kind of iffy. Anywho, this might be weirdly random, but do keep an eye open for tomorrow, later in the evening, afternoon rather, well, sometime tomorrow. I'll be playing Dungeons & Dragons with the guys, and I'll be streaming that here on Twitch as well, so possibly it'll be a much shorter stream, but it'll happen, and on the weekend of all days, so everyone, hopefully, will be able to check it out. So free up some time in your days and check and come back tomorrow to watch me stream some Dungeons & Dragons with them peeps. And also check out Twitter, because I'll be posting it up there. And other than that, if you decide that Dungeons & Dragons is not a thing you're into, or my streams is a thing you're not into, or being home watching streams on weekends is not a thing you're into, or, you know, none of the things that will be happening tomorrow is a thing you're into, then I hope you guys have a wonderful, delicious weekend and do great things with your lives. Possibly productive things like what I have been doing. And once again, I thank you all for joining up on the stream today and being here, and you know, hope you guys enjoyed everything that we did, and I'll go check you guys next time. Whenever that happens, we will see each other next time. So before we truly actually go out and check Buff Pup, who is playing Twitch Sings. I have no idea what that is, but the name of that sounds interesting. So go out there, check them out, say the Doug sent you if you have them emotes, which I hope you do. Make sure to spam the heck out of their chat with Doug emotes, and have fun. Do great things. Have a great weekend. And other than that, bye bye.